Hello there everyone! We are back for another video, and this is a video that a couple of you Patreons requested. And it's a very good one actually. Which customizing method to start with? Like, where are you starting off when you're gonna build a custom harmonica? Or just to improve some of the things in your harmonica. And I'd say that, of course, the first thing you have to decide is what kind of harmonica do you want? Is it a low D harmonic, or is it the G, or is it the G harmonic minor tuned harmonica? Or we have to figure out this part first. Then of course we want to get the parts like cover plates, reed plates, maybe custom comb, whatever you want to have in your harmonica. We need to harvest those parts first and get them. Either you can buy them from maybe Hohner if it's a Hohner harmonica, or you can buy a complete harmonica from a retailer, and you can get a custom comb from either me or Blue Moon Harmonicas, Brendan Power. There's loads of people out there. Anyway, so that's what you start with. You start with getting all the parts that you need and want to have in your harmonica. Next up that I do is I flat sand the comb, and I go through the comb and check so everything looks nice and as it should be. Then I move over to the reed plates, and if we're talking about reed plates where the reeds are riveted, like Hohner, Seidel, Herring, and I think some of the E-stops are also riveted. Then we want to start to center the reeds, and there's a video on how to do this in the collections or in the index tab. And after we centered every reed, we can either continue with embossing. That's usually what I do, because when you're centering the reed, you're on a light box, and then, well, it falls naturally to emboss the reeds afterwards. After that, I would flat sand the draw reed plate, because what happens when you're riveting the reeds, when you're centering the reeds, is that that might create a little bit of an indentation in the reed plate. So it's always good to flat sand the reed plate, the draw reed plate, after you have centered the reeds. Embossing doesn't really affect that part. And then after that, I would be starting to clear up the reeds from the embossing, or the reed slots, if there's any reeds that are stuck, if I over embossed the reed plates. After that, I would continue over to reed profiling. Let's say we're polishing the reeds as well. Then I would be reprofiling the reeds, and I would also polish the reeds. And there's videos on this as well in the index sections or collection tab. After this is done, I would be starting with the reed curvature, setting up the curve of the reed. And the reed curvature is different for, well, each key and each hole, each reed, each note is different and kind of a little bit unique to each reed, each individual reed. And then once the reed curvature is set up, then I go over to rough tuning. And rough tuning basically means tuning the harmonica as exact as I possibly can, but it's the first tuning, so it's usually, it will change once you've let the harmonica rest for a bit. So once I've done the rough tuning of the harmonica, I usually just leave the harmonica apart, I don't mount it together, and then I leave it there for maybe, I'd say, a week or two, because then the tuning kind of stabilizes a little bit. Then after this, I would go over and fine tune the harmonica. If you're doing a serious overblow, overdraw harmonica, you want to put a little bit of wax, beeswax at the bottom of the reeds next to the rivet pad, and you would do this as the like final step just before you start with the tuning. Then after about 2 weeks I will come back to the harmonica and I will do the fine tuning. And now when the fine tuning is done, I will mount the harmonica together. So I will mount the reed plates to the comb. And remember now, we already flat sanded the comb, so the comb is like finished. Then I would start to work on the cover plates to make sure that they sit nice and tight in the groove at the front of the reed plate. And then basically mount the whole harmonica together, and then I will let it rest again for another 2 weeks or so and check the tuning again, and also check the reed gapping and the overall playability, of course. And the gapping will change a little bit as well when like the metal settles in. Most of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, the reed gapping like gets closer, so you get a tighter reed gap. So you might want to go over that, and if you need to change the reed gapping, you want to change the reed gapping first and then do the final tuning, because anything you do to like the reeds in terms of profiling or gapping or anything like that will affect the tuning. There are rare cases, of course, where it doesn't affect it, but yeah, just most of the time it will. And then just put the whole harmonica together and play around with it for a while and see how it responds. Does any of the reeds choke? Is there a problem with an octave beating or something like that? Or doesn't the 10 overdraw respond as good as it should? Then of course I would step back again and redo some of the steps. And if you have to step back and redo any of the steps, don't let yourself down. I mean, it's something that I do all the time. And what you always have to remember is that after you adjust something, you will have to go over the tuning again. And if you have gone over the tuning again and adjusted things especially, then you might want to let the harmonica rest for another week or two to come back to it and check the tuning again. Of course, you can play on the harmonica, but most likely the tuning will change a little bit over time. So as you can hear, I'm talking a lot about tuning, and tuning is really like the last step of the process. That's about it really with the different steps and which order I do them in. So hope this makes a little bit more sense to you all. And yeah, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. See you next time.